Time for another start of our festival coverage, this time with part 1 of Turn-Based Thursday Fest. This is going to be looking at all the roguelikes, deck builders, and moving one turn at a time based games. So with that, let's see what night number 1 brings. We're beginning this part with the games that I got press key access for to cover during Turn-Based Thursday Fest, and our first game is going to be None Shall Intrude. This is a deck building roguelike with the twist is that instead of playing as the brave heroes, we are playing as the giant dragon who is storming across the land, destroying everything in their wake. The rules for this is that your dragon operates much like a raid boss, with different phases of health that determine what passives and abilities they'll have access to. Each turn you'll play different cards that are related to fire, wind, and earth. And the main aspect of this game is that whenever you play a card on the field, it will leave behind some remnant, such as a patch of fire, wind, and you get the picture. By combining multiple copies or combinations of the different elements, you'll create bonus effects, such as if you combine 2 winds with fire, you'll create a kind of giant blast of, fiery wind that does damage to everyone. Earth and fire can create kind of like little explosions, and there's a full combo list that you can go to at any time. I do wish that information was spelled a little bit more clearly on the main screen GUI. It's going to be a little bit annoying switching back and forth. Our gameplay is going to be choosing which areas you want to conquer, which in turn will determine your rewards. After you've done a certain number of turns, the game will kind of force a boss fight on you. This could be a raiding party or one of the greatest heroes of the land coming to take you on. And you will of course have to fight them any which way you can. There is meta progression, with being able to unlock different perks you can have to start with, and of course unlocking new cards and features that can appear on subsequent plays. It's a very interesting take on the deck building formula, and other than the combo system again being a little bit tricky to keep track of, I think this is a really solid game to check out. And I'm definitely going to try and give this one another look after the event is over. So if you like deck building but you prefer to be the bad guy or / dragon rather than the hero, then give this one a play. Now we switch to something a little bit more friendly with Lost for Swords. This is a deck building roguelike, kind of like a single player adventure. You are trying to save the king who has apparently been turned to stone. You must explore a variety of towers and deal with the baddies in it to save them. Our gameplay here is that you'll go up each floor of the tower or structure trying to make progress. In order to move on to kind of like the next chunk of areas in the level, you need to kill enough enemies to unlock the key. When you get said key and you complete a section, you'll move on to the next. During each floor, everything is represented, as you can see, by cards. You can pick up weapons and armor cards. When you get close to an enemy, you will initiate combat. Now, every weapon has a durability factor, and when you clear a floor or just leave the floor, all your weapon and defense cards are removed, and things get shuffled back into your deck. Every time you clear a room, you will also be able to choose a new card that can show up. And there are dynamics in terms of the order that you pick up cards. Cards may be influenced by what you're holding, or other cards kind of being banked at that moment. As the game goes on, more enemies will be introduced. You will be able to unlock additional characters, each with their own style of deck. Now, in terms of difficulty, I would put this maybe on the moderate side. Like, it didn't feel as overly difficult as some of the other deck builders that we played, probably some of the other ones you're going to be seeing in this set of showcases. But it feels like a very solid, maybe like entry-level take. With the cards being very spiky, it means that you're not as like doom or gloom if you don't get a good card. And the fact that you're able to repeat floors in order to get enough to get the key, and kind of unlock more cards to add to your deck, means that you will eventually, or you should eventually, be able to overcome the challenges. So I would recommend this one if you're a deck builder fan looking for one on the easier side, or if you're new to deck building roguelike design and looking for a very solid, again, entry-level game to check out. And now we switch over to Pyrene. Now this is being played while the game is in early access and may not represent the current version of it. This is a deck building roguelite, as you are trying to repair your village and perhaps stop some evil monster from rampaging the land. And to do that, we're going to collect a lot of resources, especially lumber, in order to save the day. In this one, you'll go into a danger zone, in which you'll need to determine the path that you take that is the most optimal to fight enemies and collect the resources you need. When you run into an enemy, they will do damage to you equal to their health. Now, each time you run out of moves, you have to rest to refill the board. When enough cards have been played, an altar will spawn that is kind of like the end goal. You land on that card, the danger zone is cleared, and you will get your reward based on how well you did. Your deck in this one, you have a limited number of slots that will possibly show up during a battle, and you are free to move cards around as you see fit. Some cards will be defensive, offensive, or provide you with resources. Provisions are going to be your major kind of gate at the beginning, because every time you rest, you'll use up provisions, and if you don't have enough to cover, you will take health damage. And of course, you run out of health damage, your run is over. The persistence comes in the form of being able to complete kind of the story chapters and rebuilding your village. Every time you build or rebuild a structure, you will unlock some new functionality, such as being able to swap to additional characters, start the runs with bonus features, and of course unlock new cards that can appear. We played the demo to this one quite a while ago, and in the version that we played during Turn-Based Thursday Fest, I found it to be a little bit on the easier side than I remember. Now, there are progressive difficulties or ascension mode challenges you can turn on to make things harder, but I think at least the base level feels like a good groove for people starting out. And I do kind of like the different theme of this, especially the monster designs on these cards. They're very unusual, to say the least. So, if you're looking for another kind of, building / harvesting deck builder, then definitely give this one a try. I'm interested to see where it's going to turn out when it is finished in early access. And now we switch over to Arcseed. This is another game that is in early access and may not represent the current version of it. What we have here is the non-trademark take off of Neon Genesis Evangelion, as non-copyright angels have invaded the Earth, and we're going to have to use our non-trademark Ava in order to save the day. The game itself kind of borrows some elements of an Into the Breach, in that each battle, you must defend the city from a wave of enemies. Every civilian you save will earn you money, which can then be used to upgrade your suit, as well as unlock additional features in kind of your hangar. A new feature that was added to the game right around the time of Turn-Based Thursday Fest is a research perk screen that allows you to unlock new perks for your character with those materials earned from completing battles and fighting some of the elite fights. Now, the combat here is that you'll use your cards that will vary from movement, healing, and of course offensive cards in order to fight the enemies. You can upgrade the amount of energy that you have, or of course your MP each turn. Now, one feature that we didn't get a chance to see too much is that you have a battery, much like in the show, that you must charge, and I don't know what happens if it runs out. This felt a little bit easier to play compared to the demo that we tried about a year ago. However, the developer is adding in Ascension mode / progressive difficulty that I believe they are currently in the game now, and there will also be additional mech pilots and of course more cards and enemies added as things go along. So, if you like battling a giant, whatever we call them, that come from space, I would definitely give this one a try. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to end up when it is finished. And now we go to a Zet Zillions for a very unusual take on the deck building roguelike. We are out exploring the stars while a giant creature is chasing after us. We're going to be attempting to colonize planets by flinging meat puppets at a whole lot of interstellar bodies. The gameplay here is that you can combine your cards in different ways to change them into additional cards or to add properties to them. this does not cost you any energy per turn. And you're going to need to do this as your base deck is not exactly the best in terms of defending or attacking or doing pretty much of anything. And this one I would say is definitely on the moderate to moderately difficult side as far deck builders go. A lot of this has to do with that you have kind of like an FTL style map as you're being chased by this giant creature who's out to get you. So you have to balance getting to hit as many points on the map as possible in order to get the resources, cards, and upgrades needed to survive. If you rush through things, you are going to get stopped at the bosses. Now, I do like the art style in this one. It's a very interesting, very different looking game for sure. And the different cards also lend themselves really well towards a variety of builds and strategies. A key aspect of Zet Zillions is that every enemy has a kind of stagger meter, and the stagger meter grows as you shoot your kind of basic puppets at them. When it fills up, they become stunned for a turn, and you have cards that proc based off of the number of population you have on them. So once you fill it up, you activate your card to do lots of damage, then allows you to fill it up another time, and you get the picture. And there's definitely potentials for some very powerful builds, especially when you complete the quests that allow you to add additional modifiers to any one of your cards. So I would recommend this one if you're looking for a more challenging take on the deck builder, and you don't mind some very interesting looking character designs. And for the last game of today's video, we have Rogue Voltage. Once again, this is in early access, and what you see may not represent the current version of it. And this one is perhaps one of the most advanced in terms of a deck building style roguelike that we've seen, because your deck is actually your backpack full of weird devices. How this one works, and again, I could probably spend the next 5-10 minutes trying to explain the basics, is that every turn you have devices that will send out power. You connect those devices using wiring, and whatever devices you power up will activate for that turn. Things get complicated when you have devices that proc based off of specific conditionals. So let's say you have a device that gives out energy every time you're healed. So you can have another device that pumps out a health potion. Use that health potion, that gets you more power that can be fed into another device that can then multiply the power, so that gets sent to another device to give yourself double or even triple damage for that turn. On top of that, you have timeline management. That's the lovely little set of bars you see in the top right corner of the screen, that you can push or pull characters on the timeline. The faster you complete a battle, the more rewards you get. And there's also punishments for speeding or slowing down characters at specific intervals on said timeline. As the game goes on, you'll be given more devices to add to your lovely backpack of wires, widgets, and more. And this one is definitely, as I said, on the advanced side. You have to basically spend like a minute or two every turn to rewire all your devices in order to best capitalize on it. And it does make it probably one of the weaker games to stream because of that. If you're someone who's looking for a very simple to get into deck builder, Rogue Voltage is not that game at all. But if you're someone who is looking for a very different and very challenging take on deck building design, and you love the idea of making all these unusual and crazy synergies, so that this goes to this, that goes to this, and then you just completely stomp the enemy on the turn, then you definitely need to play this one. So, as we wrap things up, again, these games that you've seen in today's video, these were all given to me as press access for the event, but starting for our next showcase coverage of Turn-Based Thursday Fest, they will all be the demos that we had a chance to play. Let me know what you think about these games down below, and with that, come back for more showcasing, and we still have Next Fest that will be coming up really soon after these videos, and I will see everyone in our next showcase coverage. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.